he has been very consistent and clear about this, not just in private meetings, but equally in the public positioning. This is not time of war, which is what something is said in September 22. The solution to the Russia-Ukraine conflict cannot be found on the battlefield. Wherever innocent lives are lost, in particular children's lives are lost, those are unacceptable. Dialogue and diplomacy, and not the battlefront war is a way forward in finding a solution. In terms of the messaging on Russia-Ukraine conflict by India, what Prime Minister has been very consistent in messaging on this issue is also what he articulated during his visit to Moscow. He has been very consistent and clear about this, not just in private meetings, but equally in the public positioning that he has taken, and he has very openly spoken about that. So when he met with the president, with the Russian president in September 2022, which was on the sidelines of the SCO summit in Samarkand in Uzbekistan, Prime Minister clearly mentioned there, and he repeated part of it today in his discussions, that this is not an era of war. This is what he said in September 20. He said it publicly, not something which he said in private. During discussions in Moscow, of which he gave a reasonably detailed account and shared it with the Austrian Chancellor also, my Prime Minister very clearly said there, and he repeated that in press remarks today to the press, roughly translated it into English. It had three key elements to it. One, that this is not time of war, which is what something is said in September 22. Second important thing, which he publicly said in Moscow and repeated here, that the solution to the Russia-Ukraine conflict cannot be found on the battlefield. And three, he again spoke very clearly on this in Moscow and reiterated it today, that wherever innocent lives are lost, in particular children's lives are lost, those are unacceptable under any circumstances. In discussions in Moscow and with the Austrian Chancellor also today, we clearly brought out that the dialogue and diplomacy, and not the battlefront war is a way forward in finding a solution to this. In discussing this, Prime Minister was also very clear that whatever contribution India can make in arriving at that peaceful solution through dialogue and diplomacy, we would be very, very happy to make that contribution. It is natural that all sides involved in this have to be, agree to this for this process to move forward. And this was the context in which the path forward on Russia-Ukraine conflict was talked about, discussed. As I mentioned in my opening remarks also, Prime Minister elaborated in considerable detail the challenges that the countries of the global south and India also faced, and some of it still continue to face, in terms of the derivative impact on the economic growth parameters. So energy security was impacted in the early months of the conflict, and some of it is still a matter of stress especially for those economies which rely heavily on imports of energy inputs, fertilizer security, food security, and while there is a certain kind of equilibrium which is currently there in terms of the countries of the global south trying to address this challenge, but the risk of it still remains. This is what was the broad aspects of discussion on Russia-Ukraine, that solution cannot be found on the battlefield. Dialogue and diplomacy is the way to go forward. India would be very happy to make whatever contribution it can or is called upon to make in trying to resolve this particular challenge.
If you like this video, then like, share and subscribe to ET Now.